আজকে আমরা সেক্সুয়ালি ট্রান্সমিটেড ইনফেকশনস ব্যাপারে কিছু জানবো, একটা ওভারভিউ কাইন্ড অফ আ থিং। হ্যাঁ, জাস্ট ফর এসটিআইস। এইচআইভির ক্লাস আরেকদিন পরে হবে, ঠিক আছে? সো তোমরা স্লাইডস দেখো, আমাকেও স্লাইড দেখেই পড়াতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? সো এনিওয়ে, উই আর স্টার্টিং। সো হোয়াট ইজ সেক্সুয়ালি ট্রান্সমিটেড ইনফেকশনস? দিজ আর দোজ, ইকো হচ্ছে কিছু, অসুবিধা হচ্ছে কিছু? ওকে, infections that are primarily transmitted through sexual contact, though they can be transmitted by other routes, which can be blood transfusion, needle prick, or mother to fetus transmission in utero, vertical transmission, ঠিক আছে? তো why, মানে extent of STIs কতটা, why is it important to treat STIs? There are some data from the World Health Organization যেটা দেখাচ্ছে যে in 2020 there were about 374 million new infections in people of 15 to 49 years of age group, and mainly with the 4 curable STIs. So which curable STIs mostly chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and trichomoniasis. Then human papillomavirus infection is associated over 300,000 cervical cancer death each year. Human papillomavirus infection ta jonne ekhon amader kache vaccines ache, so it is a preventable thing jeta amra prevent korte pari jodi amra thik kore vaccination ta korte pari. And 1.1 million pregnant women were estimated to be infected by syphilis, resulting in basically there is something called congenital syphilis, adverse birth outcome. So these are some of the kind of tomar keno STI treat korata important. So these are the some of the common STIs, and I have taken it from Dr. Arup Majhi's book, Regards to Sir. তো এটা দেখা যাচ্ছে না ভালো করে, but STIs can be caused by various etiology. It can be fungal, protozoal, viral, bacterial, and even infestations. Okay, so fungus er moddhe moniliasis যেটাকে আমরা vulvovaginal candidiasis বলি, the causative agent is Candida albicans. Protozoal এর মধ্যে trichomoniasis, the causative agent is Trichomonas vaginalis. তো এরকম অনেকগুলো আছে, যেমন তোমার ভাইরাল এর মধ্যে genital herpes, condyloma acuminata, molluscum contagiosum, AIDS. ব্যাকটেরিয়াল এর মধ্যে ব্যাকটেরিয়াল vaginosis, gonorrhea, syphilis, infestations এর মধ্যে scabies, pediculosis, এগুলো sexually transmitted হতে পারে। তো এবার এক একটা করে আমরা কিছুটা জানবো। সো মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্টলি মানে ফার্স্ট হচ্ছে ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ভাজাইনোসিস। ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ভাজাইনোসিস জানার আগে আমাদের জানতে হবে যে what is the normal vaginal flora. The normal vaginal flora is mostly aerobic with an average 6 different species of bacteria, the most common being the hydrogen peroxide producing lactobacilli, which maintains the pH of the normal vagina less than 4.5. So it makes it acidic and prevents infection. What is bacterial vaginosis? নামেই বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে ব্যাকটেরিয়ার কিছু রোল আছে। It is a polymicrobial clinical syndrome resulting from alteration of normal vaginal bacterial flora, which leads to loss of hydrogen peroxide producing lactobacilli and leads to overgrowth of predominantly anaerobic bacteria, of which Gardnerella vaginalis is the important anaerobe. তাহলে ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ভাজাইনোসিস হচ্ছে একটা পলিমাইক্রোবিয়াল কন্ডিশন যেখানে দ্য নর্মাল COH প্রডিউসিং ল্যাক্টোব্যাসিলাস যেটা আছে সেটা ওটা লস হয়, অ্যাসিডিটিটা কমে যায়, অ্যাজ এ রেজাল্ট অ্যানারোবিক ব্যাকটেরিয়া ওখানে গ্রো করে and leads to infection. It is the most common cause of vaginal discharge to 42. তো আমি জাস্ট আউট অফ দ্য ওয়ে বলছি যে কমন প্র্যাকটিসে ভাজাইনাল ডিসচার্জ, প্লুরাইটিস ভালভি যেটা বলে সেটা নিয়ে পেশেন্টসরা অনেক সময় আসে ইন ক্লিনিক্যাল সেটিংস। তার মধ্যে ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ভাজাইনোসিস, ট্রাইকোমোনিয়াসিস অ্যান্ড ভালভো ভাজাইনাল ক্যান্ডিডিয়াসিস আর দ্য 3 মেন ইম্পর্টেন্ট ডিডিস। যদিও আরো অনেক কিছু হতে পারে, কিন্তু ওপিডি প্র্যাকটিসে দিস আর দ্য 3 মেইন ইনফেকশনস অ্যাকচুয়ালি যেগুলো নিয়ে আমরা ডিল করি। তো ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ভ্যাজিনোসিস আবার যেটা বলছি, মোস্ট কমন কজ অফ vaginal discharge around 40 to 50%. The symptom is clear homogeneous discharge, whitish gray in color with a fishy smell. Diagnosis is mostly clinical, but there is something called an AMSEL criteria for diagnosis. So this can be important for exam purpose. What is AMSEL criteria for diagnosis? ওটার মধ্যে 4টে points আছে. The first point being presence of clue cells on microscope. So what are clue cells? The clue cells are superficial vaginal epithelial cells with bacteria adherent to it. The bacteria being mostly Gardnerella vaginalis, that adherent bacteria kind of obliterates or shadows the crisp cell border when visualized microscopically. This is called clue cell. So the 4 criteria are presence of clue cells, grayish white vaginal discharge, vaginal pH around 4.5, normally এর থেকে কম থাকে, আর characteristic fishy smell on addition of potassium hydroxide. But there is some important effects of bacteria vaginosis. It is important to be treated. Why? Because it can lead to pelvic inflammatory disease and post hysterectomy vaginal cuff cellulitis. Ar ekta hocche in pregnancy it can lead to premature rupture of membranes and preterm birth. Okay, and there is also an increased risk of HIV infection if a person has got bacterial vaginosis. So this is bacterial vaginosis. After this, okay, the treatment mostly দেখবে এই সবকটা ওষুধেই metronidazole is a important drug. So metronidazole is the drug of choice for treating bacterial vaginosis because it has got excellent activity against anaerobes but does not destroy the lactobacilli. The regimen is generally about metronidazole 400 mg twice daily for 7 days. Clindamycin o dawa jete pare 300 mg twice daily for 7 days, or clindamycin vaginal pacid is locally acting 100 mg at bedtime for 3 days. তাহলে systemic side effects গুলো একটু কম হয়. এরপরে হচ্ছে trichomoniasis. এরও main একটা the main presenting symptom is vaginal discharge. So it is the causative agent is Trichomonas vaginalis, a flagellate protozoa. In amongst the patients who have trichomoniasis, 25% of the women are asymptomatic, and in males it generally harbors in the urethra and prostate and may not produce any symptoms. So another important point, pregnant women with trichomoniasis are at increased risk of premature rupture of membranes and preterm delivery. As we saw with bacterial vaginosis, the same thing, increased risk of premature rupture of membranes and PID. The symptoms are moddhe again vaginal discharge, but this discharge is a little bit different from bacterial vaginosis. ওখানে ছিল thin grayish white discharge, এখানে profuse frothy vaginal discharge which may be yellowish green in color, and again sometimes with fishy smell. Irritation and itching, it is kind of universal with all the infections. Urinary symptoms like dysuria, increased frequency, egulo hoy. So diagnosis is mostly clinical basically. We do speculum examination, তো ডিসচার্জটা এরকম yellowish green হতে পারে. একটা particular feature আছে যাকে strawberry appearance বলা হয়. Vaginal walls become red and inflamed with multiple punctate hemorrhagic spots in trichomoniasis, and this is known as strawberry appearance. Diagnosis clinical, or hanging drop preparation can be done for confirmation. Treatment is again metronidazole, which is the drug of choice. It is metronidazole 200 mg, আগের তাই 400 mg twice daily বলেছিলাম, এটাই 200 mg 3 times daily for 1 week, or a single 2 grams oral dose. In trichomoniasis, since the partner can harbor the infection asymptomatically, the partner should also be treated with the same medications, though he may not have any symptoms. And now we are talking about candidiasis, another cause of vaginal discharge, vulval pruritus. So bacterial vaginosis, trichomoniasis and vulvovaginal candidiasis, the presenting symptom for all is mostly vaginal discharge, বাংলায় যেটা ওপিডি তে শুনলে বলবে সাদা স্রাব হচ্ছে, and pruritus. So candida albicans এর মধ্যে একটা important জিনিস হচ্ছে immunosuppressive states, diabetes or pregnancy তে there is higher incidence of candidiasis. The reason being pregnancy or diabetes is cell mediated immunity diminished থাকে, which leads to higher incidence of candidiasis. The symptoms, as I again told, vaginal discharge, but again the character is a little bit different. Here it is thick, white, curdy and in flakes. So it is not a thin homogeneous discharge or a frothy, profuse, greenish discharge. This is thick, white, thick, curdy flakes and white in color. একটা important feature হচ্ছে vulval pruritus, which is out of proportion to the discharge. Clinical diagnosis is again by clinical examination. Symptoms যেমন ওই তোমার vulva may be swollen and generally clinical আর per speculum examination আমরা করে দেখতে পারি, তখন we can be able to see this curdy white flakes adherent to the vaginal walls. Diagnosis এর মধ্যে একটা ওই মাইক্রোস্কোপি করা যেতে পারে on mixing with potassium hydroxide, will be able to see typical hyphae and budding spores, but this is generally not done. Treatment হচ্ছে antifungal agents typically applied. Azole drugs, these are the most common available treatment for vulvovaginal candidiasis. Intravaginal clotrimazole pessaries of 100 mg into 7 days. Oral antifungal dawa jete pare fluconazole 150 mg single oral dose. Or at a weak topical steroids such as 1% hydrocortisone cream may be given to relieve some of the external irritative symptoms. Because pruritus is extreme in this condition, hydrocortisone ointment helps in relieving the pruritus. আচ্ছা, এরপরে হচ্ছে pelvic inflammatory disease. Pelvic inflammatory disease একটা broad term. There can be many microorganisms that can be causing pelvic inflammatory disease, but the most common are by Chlamydia trachomatis and Neisseria gonorrhoeae. So এমনিতে এটা একটা ছোট overview of PID. PID is caused by microorganisms colonizing the endocervix. অর্থাৎ cervix এ colonize করছে and ascending to the endometrium and the fallopian tubes and causing inflammation and its sequelae. It is a clinical diagnosis implying the patient has upper genital tract infection and inflammation ranging from cervicitis, endometritis, salpingitis and can also have peritonitis. Eta shudhu lower genital tract noy, PID basically indicates upper genital tract infection. তার মানে ওই endometritis, salpingitis, peritonitis in some cases egulo. And again, one of the most common sexually transmitted infection, there are many microorganisms, but Chlamydia trachomatis and Neisseria gonorrhoeae are the most commonly implicated organisms. যেমন আগে পড়লাম যে ব্যাকটেরিয়াল ভাজাইনোসিসও করতে পারে PID. Symptoms is basically non-specific, সেরকম একটা আলাদা symptoms আছে ওরকম কিছু নেই. Patient may be asymptomatic or may have a wide spectrum of symptoms ranging from pelvic pain, vaginal discharge and fever. এইটা অন্যগুলোতে আগের যে তিনটাই ছিল তাতে এই ফিভারটা ছিল না. In acute cases to a more chronic sequelae like infertility due to tubal blockage resulting from salpingitis, that is inflammation of the fallopian tubes. Diagnosis acute cases, the diagnosis of PID is based on a triad of symptoms and signs which are mainly pelvic pain, cervical motion and adnexal tenderness. On vaginal examination. Vaginal examination এ যখন আমরা করি তখন cervixটা নাড়ালে তোমার ব্যথা হয় and presence of fever. But যেমন লেখা আছে, there is a wide variation of signs and symptoms which makes the diagnosis of PID difficult. It may not have any symptoms as also. Depending on severity, it is just an overview of PID. তো ছোট করে আর কি, treatment can be on an outpatient basis or an inpatient basis depending on the severity, and treatment is mainly empirical, that is broad spectrum antibiotics to include Neisseria, Chlamydia, gram-negative, anaerobes and streptococci. So one of the many OPD regimes যেগুলো use করা হয়, one of the time-tested regime is injection ceftriaxone, that is a broad spectrum cephalosporin 250 mg IM plus tab doxycycline 100 mg twice daily for 14 days. In place of doxycycline, we can also give tab azithromycin 500 milligram as a initial loading dose, followed by 250 milligram daily for total of 7 days. So whatever we have read, went through this time, so all present with kind of vaginal discharge and pruritus. PID তে তার সাথে vaginal dischargeর সাথে একটু constitutional symptoms থাকে, pelvic pain থাকে, আর তার পরবর্তীকালে সিকুয়েলি থাকে যেটা অনেক সময় অন্যগুলোতে হয় না। তো we had told that the two most common causes of PID is Neisseria gonorrhoeae and Chlamydia trachomatis. So we will talk briefly about these two infections actually. So gonorrhea is STI, the causative agent being gram-negative Diplococcus Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Signs and symptoms implicated in causing PID, we had already read that. Vaginal discharge, pelvic pain, but it can also cause urethral, endocervical, mucopurulent discharge, low-grade fever. Two other features that can happen in gonorrhea is monoarticular arthritis and purpuric skin rash due to hematogenous spread. And there is something called a Fitzhugh-Curtis syndrome. This is perihepatitis due to spread of infection to the liver with formation of adhesions with abdominal wall. These are known as typical violent string adhesions, and they are known as Fitzhugh-Curtis syndrome. Another important thing is that it can cause neonatal ophthalmic infection due to transmission during delivery. Vaginal delivery করার সময় if mother is having gonorrhea, the child might develop ophthalmic infection. Diagnosis is by gram staining and by nucleic acid amplification test. Treatment is as like in PID, ceftriaxone 250 mg IM single dose. ওই আগে যেটা বলা হয়েছে doxycycline 100 mg BD for 14 days. Alternatively এখানে azithromycin 1 gram single dose ও দেওয়া হয়. Partner needs to be treated in gonorrhea. So after this we are talking about Chlamydia trachomatis, which is again another one of the most important causative organisms of PID. Often asymptomatic, and symptoms when they occur, it can be like PID and again like gonorrhea, urethral and endocervical mucopurulent discharge. In addition, Chlamydia trachomatis has got two features which we don't see in gonorrhea or in PID, that is contact bleeding and intermenstrual bleeding. The perihepatitis that we spoke about, Fitzhugh-Curtis syndrome, it occurs more commonly in Chlamydia trachomatis than in gonorrhea, as also monoarticular arthritis of weight-bearing joint. Diagnosis is again by nucleic acid amplification technique from a vulvar, vaginal or its endocervical swab. Treatment is doxycycline or azithromycin, which is basically the general treatment for what we do for PID. In this case also, the partner needs to be treated. So we were talking about bacteria till all this time, active protozoa বাদ দিয়ে, which was trichomoniasis. Now we have come to the viral etiology of STIs. তার মধ্যে একটা হচ্ছে important is genital warts or condyloma acuminata. So what are genital warts? These are outgrowths on the skin which may be flat or may project from the surface of the skin and may be of various color, okay, light brown, white, pink, like as shown in the picture. There may be a few individual warts or several in a cluster or merged together to look like a cauliflower growth. It is important. It is the most easily recognized symptoms of non-oncogenic genital human papillomavirus infection. So it is caused by human papillomavirus 6 and 11, which are non-oncogenic. The oncogenic viruses are 16, 18, 31, 33, which leads to cervical neoplasia, intraepithelial neoplasia, and if untreated, to cervical cancer. Herpes is caused by 6 and 11, which are mostly non-oncogenic and leads to genital warts. So these lesions or these outgrowths are most commonly found in posterior foreshead and lateral areas of the vulva. Less frequently can be found throughout the vulva and in vagina and cervix. they are highly contagious. More than 75% of partners develop when exposed. Recurrence is common and often results from reactivation of subclinical infection. The treatment is removing the warts, which can be done medically or it can be done by surgery. The medical treatment includes podophyllin or trichloroacetic acid, and again newer medicines are coming in. Destructive operations, that is, can be used like laser, cryotherapy or surgical excision to remove the warts. And prevention, this is kind of a preventable infection, because now we have the HPV vaccine, the quadrivalent HPV vaccine, which protects against 6, 11, 16, 18, or the nonavalent HPV vaccine, which protects against 9 subtypes, 6, 11, 16, 18, 31, 33, 45, 52 and 58. So the vaccines can help prevent genital warts as well as cervical problems, cervical intraepithelial neoplasia and cervical cancer. Now among the STIs, many people can present with genital ulcers. So genital ulcer, যেমন বলছিলাম যে vaginal discharge is a common symptom in the OPD, and we treat for basically all the three: trichomoniasis, candidiasis and bacterial vaginosis. We give a mixture of metrogyl, clindamycin and clotrimazole actually. So some people can present with genital ulcers, and genital ulcer can have a viral and a bacterial etiology. So the common causes of genital ulcers are genital herpes, syphilis, chancroid, lymphogranuloma venerum or LGV, and granuloma inguinale or donovaniasis. All these diseases are associated with an increased risk of HIV. So among these, the common ones basically are genital herpes and syphilis that we still get to see. Others are not that common, but we will go talk about them one by one, all choto choto kore. So first, genital herpes. Genital herpes is caused by herpes simplex virus types 1 and 2. Incubation period is about 2 to 14 days. The signs and symptoms: initially red, painful, inflammatory. So a reddish area appears on the female external genitalia like vulva, labia, perineum. It can be on vagina, cervix also, and followed by appearance of multiple vesicles, which leads to form multiple shallow ulcers. These ulcers are extremely painful. That is one of the features. Like if a patient comes in OPD complaining of extreme pain, and we on clinical examination we see these small shallow ulcers, it's kind of pathognomonic of genital herpes. They generally resolve by crusting spontaneously. Takes about 3 weeks to complete the process, but we can hasten the resolution by giving some antivirals. But this is the thing, extremely painful, small, tiny genital ulcers generally indicate herpes. As I have written, there is extremely painful, there is vulvar burning, urinary retention because of all the pain, and constitutional symptoms like fever can happen. Diagnosis, clinical, generally if you have seen a herpes patient, you will be able to remember like how painful it is and how the type of ulcers. And PCR test to identify HSV DNA is done. Treatment is antiviral medications, acyclovir or valacyclovir. There are also newer antiviral medications. Acyclovir needs to be given 5 times daily for 7 days, 200 mg. Valacyclovir 1 gram 2 times daily for 7 days. But there are newer medications like which can be given probably for lesser number of days. And there is some important points about herpes simplex virus infection. That primary infection in pregnancy may lead to increased risk of miscarriage and preterm labor. This is one thing we are finding with many of these STIs, in utero transfer of infection to mother to fetus. And another thing is, if the mother contacts herpes simplex virus infection at the time of delivery, transfer of infection to mother to neonate occurs during vaginal delivery, leading to neonatal herpes. 50% if the mother contacts it for the first time, that is primary infection, and 5% in recurrent infection. Therefore, in case of primary genital herpes of the mother at the time of delivery, cesarean section is an indication. So if you are asked for indication of cesarean section in STIs, this is definitely primary genital herpes at the time of delivery. Herpes can have many recurrent bouts of infection, but they are generally mild and are self-limiting. So another cause of ulceration is syphilis. So the causative agent is Treponema pallidum, which is an anaerobic spirochete bacteria. The method of transmission is direct contact with another person who has got open primary or secondary syphilitic lesion. Transmission occurs through abraded skin or mucosal surface. The syphilis has got various clinical stages, and the various stages, untreated syphilis actually progress to various stages. There is primary syphilis, secondary syphilis, latent phase, and then there is a tertiary syphilis, and the symptoms vary in each stage. So first we will talk about primary syphilis. The primary syphilis, the lesion in primary syphilis is called a chancre. Chancre, which is a painless ulcer. Genital herpes was an extremely painful small like ulcer, multiple ulcers, and the chancre is a painless ulcer with raised margins and smooth shiny floor. It may be single or multiple and develop at site of exposure. The exudate from the ulcer contains Treponema pallidum. One important feature is the inguinal lymph node becomes enlarged, but they stay non-tender. This will help to differentiate it from some other infections we will talk about later, where the inguinal lymph nodes becomes enlarged and tender and forms abscesses. Chancre heals spontaneously in about 1 to 8 weeks, leaving behind a scar. So one important point again, fallopian tubes are not affected, and fertility is not does not happen in syphilis. So as I was telling, syphilis had got many stages. This was the primary syphilis. This is the secondary syphilis. So it's the second stage of an untreated syphilis. It generally occurs within 6 months of development of chancre. The main feature here is condyloma lata. In primary syphilis, it is called chancre. Here it is called condyloma lata, which are coarse, flat-topped, moist, necrotic lesions teeming with bacteria. So the exudate is again full of bacteria. It is associated with constitutional symptoms like fever, headache, and there can be a maculopapular rash on the palms and sole. This point is also important, that secondary syphilis has condyloma lata as its primary ulcerative form and maculopapular rash on the palms and soles. There is generalized lymphadenopathy associated mucosal ulcers and alopecia. Both primary and secondary syphilis are infective. So after that, the latent syphilis, when the infection is latent and it is not infective, and it can vary from 2 to 20 years. So after that, if it is not treated, 1/3 of the patients develop tertiary syphilis. Tertiary syphilis has got again its own characteristic ulcer, which is known as a gumma or gummatous ulcer. So the first primary has got a chancre, the secondary has got condyloma lata, and the tertiary has got a gumma or gummatous ulcer. These are painless, deep punched out ulcer with rolled out margins involving skin and bone. Ulcer has got a moist leather base. This is described as an ulcer with a moist leather base. Tertiary syphilis can also lead to cardiovascular complications involving aortic valve and ascending aorta, and there can be CNS involvement as well, which I have not actually described in detail. Now diagnosis. Diagnosis, obviously history, a detailed history of exposure helps. Smear from exudate and microscopy. Now serological tests are the way we generally diagnose if we are suspicious of syphilis. VDRL is the common screening test, and this test is done along with serology. infertility patients basically. In infertility, when we do any treatment, we always do serology, and along with that, VDRL is a mandatory test that needs to be done. It's a screening test. There are many specific tests. I have mentioned two here, TPHA and fluorescent troponin antibody absorption test, FTA-ABS. And this is a kind of confirmatory test. More recently, there is enzyme immunoassay for IgG, IgM and PCR test. These are the recent tests, and nowadays we do these if we are not confirmed with VDRL or TPHA. Treatment. In primary, secondary and early latent syphilis of less than 1 year duration, benzathine penicillin G is the drug of choice. This is a like important thing. They might get a short kind of answer. What is the drug of choice? Benzathine penicillin is the drug of choice of syphilis. Benzathine penicillin G, 2.4 million units IM single dose. And in late syphilis, benzathine penicillin G, 2.4 million units every week for 3 weeks, 7.2 million total units. In utero transmission leads to congenital syphilis, which is a different chapter altogether. So we are talking about genital ulcers, and we are continuing with that. We have spoken about syphilis and herpes. Herpes has been multiple small painful ulcers. Syphilis has got 3 kind of ulcers depending on the stage. The third one is chancroid or soft sore. So it is caused by Haemophilus ducreyi, a gram-negative streptococcus. These again has got multiple extremely painful ulcers, which starts at vesicopustules on vulva, vagina, cervix, and sloughs to form shallow ulcers with purulent or hemorrhagic discharge. Unilateral tender lymphadenopathy occur which suppurate to form abscess, which are known as buboes. So suppurative lymphadenopathy is known as buboes actually. Nodes with suppuration, abscess formation is known as buboes. In fact, in treatment is single dose ceftriaxone 250 or azithromycin 1 gram oral single dose. The next one causing genital ulcers is lymphogranuloma venerum or LGV. These are rare, caused by L serotype of Chlamydia trachomatis, which is a more aggressive form than the one which is causing PID. It's a gram intermediate organism. It starts as a painless papule which progresses to ulcer. Painless papules, pustules which progresses to ulcer. Here there is acute lymphangitis and lymphadenitis of the inguinal lymph nodes, which become necrosed, and there is formation of abscess, which is called buboes. So buboes is seen in chancroid as well as in lymphogranuloma venerum. The classic sign of LGV is the groove sign. Groove sign, which is depression between the groups of inflamed nodes caused by compression of the lymph nodes by inguinal ligament. So you should know the groove sign. Depression between the groups of inflamed nodes caused by compression of the lymph nodes by inguinal ligament. Complications include, the complications are a little bit different here, which includes vulval elephantiasis, perineal scarring and fistula formation. Treatment is again like chancroid, azithromycin oral 1 gram orally, but this needs to be, chancroid is single dose. In LGV, it needs to be given weekly for 3 weeks, or we can give doxycycline 100 mg twice daily for 21 days. And the last one is granuloma inguinale. Again, it causes ulceration by gram-negative bacillus, which is known as Campylobacterium granulomatis. It is a chronic progressive granulomatous disease of the vulva, vagina and the cervix. This is also rare. Starts at multiple pustules over external genitalia, which breaks down to form painful ulcers. The ulcers look hypertrophic due to indurated granulation tissue with elevated and rolled out margins. That's why the name granuloma inguinale. The ulcers look hypertrophic due to indurated granulation tissue with elevated and rolled out margins. Biopsy is often needed to differentiate it from a malignancy. Lymph nodes do not undergo suppuration and abscess formation. The other two, your previous chancroid and lymphogranuloma venerum, the lymph nodes went suppuration, abscess formation and buboes, but doesn't happen with granuloma inguinale. It is diagnosed by demonstration of Donovan bodies, which are clusters of dark staining bacteria with a bipolar appearance found within the mononuclear cells. And the treatment is again azithromycin 1 gram weekly for 3 weeks and or doxycycline 100 milligram twice daily for 21 days. So treatment mostly consists of ceftriaxone, azithromycin and doxycycline in various combinations for kind of all the STIs other than vulvovaginal candidiasis, where we use antifungal azole group of drugs, and the herpes where we use the antiviral medications.